Open source software, OSS, is computer software with source code that anyone can inspect, modify, and enhance, released under licenses allowing free use, study, and distribution. Developed collaboratively by global communities, it promotes transparency, flexibility, and innovation. Key benefits include cost savings, security, and adaptability. Open source software, OSS, is source code developed and maintained through open collaboration. Anyone can use, examine, alter, and redistribute OSS as they see fit, typically at no cost. Open source contrasts with proprietary or closed source software applications such as Microsoft Word or Adobe Illustrator. The creator or copyright holder sells the proprietary or closed source software to end users, who are not allowed to edit, enhance, or redistribute the product except as specified by the copyright holder. Open source also refers to a community-based approach to creating intellectual property, such as software, through open collaboration, inclusiveness, transparency, and frequent public updates. Open source has become a fundamental pillar of modern software development, especially in regard to the modern enterprise DevOps model, a set of practices, protocols, and technologies used to accelerate the delivery of higher quality applications and services. By integrating open source tools into DevOps workflows, teams can streamline processes, automate repetitive tasks, and foster greater collaboration, ultimately accelerating development and deployment cycles. According to a study from the Linux Foundation, 70 to 90% of any given software code base consists of open source elements. Many popular software as a service, SaaS, applications, such as HubSpot and Salesforce, incorporate some level of open source software within their infrastructure. Even traditionally closed ecosystems such as Apple rely on open source tools. For example, many iOS developers use open source libraries and frameworks to make development faster and more efficient. The acceleration of generative AI is propelling this trend. 2/3 of the large language models, LLMs, the most common foundation models used to build Gen AI applications, released in 2023, were open source. Open source software, OSS, is computer software that is released under a license in which the copyright holder grants users the rights to use, study, change, and distribute the software and its source code to anyone and for any purpose. Open source software may be developed in a collaborative, public manner. Open source software is a prominent example of open collaboration, meaning any capable user is able to participate online in development, making the number of possible contributors indefinite. The ability to examine the code facilitates public trust in the software. Open source software development can bring in diverse perspectives beyond those of a single company. A 2024 estimate of the value of open source software to firms is $8.8 trillion, as firms would need to spend 3.5 times the amount they currently do without the use of open source software. Open source code can be used for studying and allows capable end users to adapt software to their personal needs in a similar way user scripts and custom style sheets allow for websites, and eventually publish the modification as a fork for users with similar preferences, and directly submit possible improvements as pull requests. Software, and its underlying source code, that can be used, modified, and redistributed by anyone and everyone is called open source. It is often built collaboratively by a community of contributors, many of whom are volunteers. Much of computing today relies on open source software. In fact, you are probably using some to read this blog post. Many routers, smart home devices, and Android smartphones are built on open source operating systems such as Linux and BSD, while the majority of the Internet is powered by Linux and open source web servers such as Nginx and Apache. The most popular cryptography techniques, which let us send private messages and access banking online, are open source, as are many of the programming languages, applications, and frameworks that drive research across data science and AI. What are the benefits of open source software? Successfully building open source software takes effort, but we believe that the benefits make it worthwhile. These include increased security. With many eyes looking at open source code, bugs and security problems are more likely to be spotted and fixed. The fact that everyone's work is public also offers an incentive to write elegant code, so that others can easily work with it. More resilient projects. Anyone can modify and share open source code, so the community can adopt or fork a project. This means useful projects don't end if the original developers move on or if the project is unprofitable. It encourages development to follow the needs of users rather than revenue. Collaborative working. Open source fosters a collective approach to problem solving. Anyone can add a feature or fix a bug and then share their changes back to the original project. This is called an upstream contribution because the changes can then flow down to all users. In this way, everyone benefits, and solving a problem for one is the same as solving it for all. Open source software is software whose source code is openly available for anyone to see, use, modify, and share. Instead of being controlled by a single company and kept behind closed doors, it's developed in public, often by communities of developers, organizations, and users working together. Because the code is open, people can understand how the software works, fix problems themselves, or adapt it to their own needs. This transparency often leads to more secure and reliable software, since many people can review the code and catch bugs or vulnerabilities. Open source projects also tend to evolve quickly, driven by real user needs rather than just business priorities. Most open source software is free to use, though free refers more to freedom than price. The rules for using and sharing it are defined by open source licenses, which allow reuse while setting conditions such as giving credit to the original creators or keeping modified versions open as well. Well-known examples include Linux, which powers many servers and devices, Python, a popular programming language, Firefox, a web browser, and WordPress, a widely used website platform. Together, open source software forms much of the foundation of today's internet and modern technology. Open source software is also widely used in businesses, education, and government because it avoids vendor lock-in and allows long-term control over technology. Organizations can audit the code, customize it for their workflows, and keep using it even if the original creators stop maintaining it. This makes open source especially attractive for critical systems where trust and longevity matter. Contributing to open source projects isn't limited to expert programmers. People help by reporting bugs, improving documentation, translating interfaces, designing logos, testing new features, or helping other users in forums. These contributions keep projects healthy and sustainable, and they also help contributors build skills, experience, and professional visibility. Overall, open source software represents a collaborative approach to technology, where sharing knowledge and working together leads to tools that benefit everyone, not just a single company or owner. Despite its many advantages, open source software also comes with challenges. Some projects rely heavily on volunteers, which can lead to slower updates or limited support compared to commercial software. Quality and security can vary between projects, especially smaller or less active ones, so users often need to evaluate how well a project is maintained before relying on it. Sustainability is another important issue. Because many open source tools are free to use, funding ongoing development can be difficult. Some projects address this through donations, sponsorships, or offering paid support and services alongside the open version. Even with these challenges, open source software continues to grow in importance. It encourages innovation, knowledge sharing, and independence from proprietary systems, making it a key part of modern computing and a powerful model for building technology collaboratively. Looking ahead, open source software is likely to play an even bigger role as technology becomes more interconnected and complex. Emerging areas such as artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, and data science already rely heavily on open source tools and frameworks, which allow rapid experimentation and shared progress across the world. Open source also supports digital equality by giving individuals, startups, and organizations in all regions access to high-quality software without high costs. This openness lowers barriers to learning and innovation, helping new ideas spread more quickly. At its core, open source software is not just about code but about a mindset of collaboration, transparency, and shared responsibility. As more people and institutions embrace these values, open source will continue shaping the future of technology and how it is created and shared. In everyday life, open source software often works quietly in the background. Many websites, mobile apps, routers, smart devices, and even cars rely on open source components. Users may not always notice it, but open source helps keep systems stable, scalable, and interoperable across different platforms. Learning and working with open source software also has long-term benefits for individuals. It encourages problem solving, collaboration, and a deeper understanding of how technology works. For students and professionals, involvement in open source projects can demonstrate real-world skills, teamwork, and initiative in ways that traditional coursework sometimes cannot. Ultimately, open source software thrives because it aligns with how knowledge grows best through sharing, peer review, and collective improvement. As long as people continue to collaborate and contribute, open source will remain a foundational and evolving force in the digital world. As open source software continues to mature, new models are emerging to balance openness with sustainability. Companies increasingly build businesses around open source projects by offering cloud hosting, enterprise features, consulting, or long-term support, while keeping the core software open. This approach allows innovation to remain shared while ensuring that projects can be maintained and improved over time. Open source also influences how people think about ownership and creativity in the digital age. It challenges the idea that progress must be locked behind patents or proprietary systems, showing instead that collaboration can produce software that is both powerful and reliable. This philosophy has inspired similar movements in open data, open science, and open education. Open source is not to be confused with open standards. Open source refers to software whose source code is freely available for anyone to use, modify, and share. An example of this is the Linux operating system, which is developed collaboratively by a global community. In contrast, open standards are publicly available guidelines that ensure interoperability between different technologies. For instance, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP, is an open standard that defines how web browsers and servers communicate. While open source software might implement open standards to ensure compatibility, they are distinct concepts. Open source is about making the software code accessible, while open standards focus on setting rules for how different systems work together. Open source in enterprise and personal computing. Open source software now plays a vital role in computing, with open source technologies providing the foundation of the Internet, business computing and personal computing. Virtually all computing devices now contain open source code of many types, typically adopted by developers to perform both fundamental operations and more advanced functions. Some of the most prevalent open source software applications include the following. The Linux Registered Operating System, an open source alternative to the Unix operating system. Mozilla Firefox, a web browser originally based on Netscape Navigator. LibreOffice, a suite of office productivity apps that rival Microsoft Office. GIMP, GNU Image Manipulation Program, an open source alternative to Adobe Photoshop. VLC Media Player, a cross-platform app for viewing videos. Open source programs are also widely used in network, enterprise, and cloud computing. The categories of open source software cited by IT professionals as the most common within their organization's deployments include programming languages and frameworks, databases and data technologies, operating systems, Git-based public repositories, frameworks for artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, ML, deep learning. Why users and organizations choose open source. The reasons for choosing open source software can vary significantly from person to person and organization to organization. In many cases, end users are completely unaware of the open source programs on their computers or mobile devices. It is also common for end users to download a free application such as the Mozilla Firefox browser or an Android app. These users want the software's functionality without the intention of rewriting or even looking at the source code. On the other hand, a company might choose open source software over a proprietary alternative for its low, or no, cost, the flexibility to customize the source code, or the large community supporting the application. Professional or amateur programmers might volunteer their development and testing skills to an open source project, often to enhance their reputation and connect to others in the field. It is now common for organizations to provide paid employees to open source projects to support the vitality of open source software development and help assure high-quality products. While open source products can spare companies the licensing cost, they can incur other costs, typically for network integration, end user and IT support, and other services usually included with proprietary software. Still, many organizations consider enterprise open source software to be at least as reliable and secure as proprietary software. They often feel more comfortable with open source solutions because they can inspect the program code and understand exactly what they are adding to their computing infrastructure. Open source and proprietary represent alternative approaches to ownership of the intellectual property, IP, embodied within an application. With open source, the IP is intended to benefit the public with no profit motive attached to intellectual property ownership. In contrast, proprietary software monetizes the value of the intellectual property by charging a subscription or proprietary license fee. However, the idea behind open source software is not primarily an anti-profit or anti-capitalism message. Still, in the hands of its user community, the software will naturally achieve its greatest potential by providing greater value to more users. The largest open source project in history, the Internet, was originally used to share academic papers. Everything beyond that narrow use case is the result of countless minds envisioning and implementing new possibilities. While open source software is freely available to the public, it is not in the public domain, a legal intellectual property category devoid of ownership rights. Through an ingenious twist of traditional copyright, open source software creators originated what they named copyleft, which permits limitless public usage, alteration, and redistribution of the source code, but prevents others from making works based on the code into proprietary, copyrighted software. However, today, there are over 100 different types of open source software licenses, some of which permit derivative works built on open source code to be copyrighted and sold. This expands commercial opportunities for those who create open source software. In conclusion, open source software is more than a development model. It is a global collaboration built on trust, transparency, and shared effort. By enabling people to learn from one another and build collectively, open source has reshaped modern technology and will continue to drive innovation, accessibility, and freedom in the years to come. Thank you for watching this video.